If you're choosing between the Northeast Heights and Nob Hill, this decision will change your daily life. You see, if you're relocating to Albuquerque, if you're looking for a quieter suburban area or you're looking for a more walkable city type of living, both of these areas are going to be two different areas that you're going to want to look into, because one of them is going to give you all of that necessity of having everything just walking distance from your house, and one is going to give you a quieter, more slower paced suburban style of living, especially if you plan on having a ton of parks around you. Right now we're in the Northeast Heights, we're at North Domingo Baca, and this park is massive. It's huge. It has a dog park, big open field that they're doing a bunch of construction on right now. They're also adding a pool, an aquatic center, they have a skate park, and just a regular park for the kiddos to go out and play. Nob Hill is still going to offer a sense of that in a piece, but it's more or less going to be still that urban, suburban type of living where everything is walkable. Everything is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes away from you, from your house, within a walking distance, making it super easy for you to go out to get a bite to eat or just enjoy that city style of living. And if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, welcome. My name is Eli. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you never miss out on any videos, because we are dropping videos just like this one, talking about what Albuquerque and all the neighborhoods within it and everything that they have to offer. And if you are interested in relocating down here in the next 6 to 12 months, as much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. And that number popping up on the screen here is my direct line. Feel free to call or text me at any time, because we have people calling and texting from all over the country, and we'd love to help you out as well. So on paper, both of these neighborhoods look great. When you're talking about resale, you're talking about diversity in homes and lifestyle, these neighborhoods are bar none and are just gonna be the top of the list when it comes down to relocating to Albuquerque. And I'm sure that's why you're watching this video, because everywhere on the internet told you that you should be looking into either one of these neighborhoods. Now, what's the difference? Why would you pick one versus the other? And when it comes down to it, the Northeast Heights is gonna be a little bit more quieter. It's gonna be more suburban. It's gonna offer this family-orientated feel when it comes down to it, because they have parks, they got high-rated schools, they got like a fire department right next to all these houses. And this fire department's actually not that old. I would say it's probably less than 10 to 15 years old. Now, when you are talking about Nob Hill, in contrast to the Northeast Heights, places like this North ABQ Acres area, you are going to be looking at lifestyle, and that lifestyle is going to cater to more or less that person who wants to have that urban sprawl, somebody who likes to walk to dinner, ride their bike everywhere, and being centrally located in the city. The convenience factor when it comes down to traveling within the city is just going to be a little bit better than something like the Northeast Heights, where traveling towards the freeway is going to take you an average of 15 to 20 minutes, and in Nob Hill it's going to take you like less than 10. So really dependent on your lifestyle here, right? We're talking about lifestyle, and throughout this video, we're gonna give you a bunch of different details on which neighborhood is gonna offer the different things and price points, rents versus buying a home, and all that stuff. So let's talk about lifestyle, because that's a very important question. When it comes down to it, when we get on a Zoom call or we have a phone conversation, you are gonna ask me about the different lifestyles that you can expect to live. And when we are talking about the Northeast versus Nob Hill, I can tell you that the Northeast is gonna be a little bit more quieter, it's gonna feel more suburban, and it's gonna feel a little bit more spread out in terms of things, because Nob Hill is really like this pocket neighborhood in the Northeast. Just depending on which neighborhood you pick, especially being up here in the Northeast Heights, you are gonna feel like you are a little bit farther away from things. Now, that doesn't mean that things aren't gonna be relatively pretty close to you. You still are gonna have all the shopping and dining up along Paseo here, and then being up here in the Northeast Heights, you are gonna have a little bit more options to choose from when it comes down to school districts. Now, up here in North Domingo Baca, closer to the mountains, you are gonna be in the La Cueva School District, although you will have some options to choose for private schooling when it comes down to placing your kiddo in a school. Now, if you don't have kids and you don't care about that kind of thing, what I can tell you is that having all these parks, access to the mountains, and just being relatively pretty close to Paseo, Tramway, and the freeway, you are gonna find that traveling from one side of the town to the other from the Northeast side is gonna be super easy, especially if it comes down to traveling for work. But where does that leave Nob Hill in this whole conversation? And that's a really good point. When I talk to people about relocating to Nob Hill versus the Northeast Heights, I try to remind them that Nob Hill is going to offer a more urban, more walkable, and a more eventful type of life. And this goes to the person that's looking for something that does always have something going on. Whether you're looking for different events on the weekend, whether you're looking to be able to walk to all the coffee shops because they have Michael Thomas, Little Bear Coffee, they have, you know, the Smoky Note, all these different things down there that you can go and enjoy on any given day of the week that is gonna be super accessible and super easy to do versus other areas like the Northeast Heights that you're actually gonna have to drive to in order to get a good cup of coffee, go to a restaurant, whatever the case is, because everything is far and spread out. When we are talking about Nob Hill, keep in mind that since this area has a majority of the things to do here in the city, you are gonna have a lot more people, a lot more noise, and it's just always gonna feel like it's active. There's always something going on. So it's not gonna be quiet. Nob Hill and the Northeast Heights, two totally different neighborhoods, offer two totally different lifestyles. And now that we got the lifestyle thing out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about the homes in these different areas. There's a lot of advice that people ask me for when it comes down to picking a house in either neighborhood. Now, there is some distinct things that you're gonna wanna look forward to when it comes down to purchasing either in Nob Hill or in the Northeast. Starting with Nob Hill. Nob Hill, since it is older and homes here were built pre-World War II, you can have the understanding that a lot of these houses need some love and some updates and some renovations, right? To make it more modern. Mainly you're talking about like the important things like the mechanical, the HVAC. You're talking about maybe some structural things. Nothing's ever really been done inside of these houses. You may want to refinish the hardwood floors, right? Those beautiful, original, creaky, squeaky hardwood floors that everybody desires. And I'm a big fan of that. Let me know down in the comments if you're like me, you enjoy old, nostalgic, vintage things. If you haven't taken note, I really like walking into a house and seeing pretty much like a canvas, right? Walking into these older homes that need love and attention. I would really love to walk in and put my spin and my flavor on it. You're not gonna get that so much in the Northeast because a lot of these people have updated their houses, they have done the renovations. Yes, you may run into a house from time to time that may need the love. In most cases, you are gonna get just a modern house that needs paint and flooring and maybe just an updated HVAC system, maybe a roof, I don't know. But when it comes down to it, comparing, contrasting, yes, the houses in Nob Hill are way older than the ones in the Northeast, and just all depending on what side of the map you are on the Northeast, you are gonna get anything from like a two-story modern house. You are gonna get a house with a garage where in Nob Hill, in most cases you won't. So that's another thing to take note of. And then of course, you are gonna get bigger homes in general and bigger lots. So if that all sounds appealing to you, you're gonna have to make a decision. Do you want the urban lifestyle that Nob Hill has to offer, or will you compensate for that and just drive to Nob Hill on the weekends to live in the Northeast where you are gonna get a little bit more room, bigger lot, or you just don't care about any of that and you just want a smaller, manageable house with everything at your fingertips. These are the deciding factors that you're gonna have to go through when it comes down to picking a house, more so understanding that each one is gonna have its downsides, right? The upside here is that we can help you find the right house by getting on a quick Zoom call. That number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to call. And what I do with people is I pull up the MLS and we discover this in real time. We figure out what neighborhood, what house, what price range, what size, like all of that stuff. What is gonna matter to you when it comes down to what type of lifestyle you're looking to live when it comes down to calling Albuquerque home? Cost of living is a real thing. And I'm sure that's why you're probably looking to relocate to Albuquerque, because it's fairly inexpensive to live here. Now that doesn't change from neighborhood to neighborhood, but what I can tell you is that when you are talking about costs of living, in the minutia, in the details, subjectively, Nob Hill and the Northeast Heights can get pretty expensive on both ends. And I'll tell you why. When you are buying a bigger house in the Northeast Heights, your utility bills are gonna be more. When you are living in Nob Hill and you have those windows that aren't 100% sealed off and your AC or your heater's constantly kicking on, your utilities are gonna be more expensive. So being really, really cautious about what's important to you when it comes down to living in one of these areas. I can tell you this, Northeast Heights, obviously when you get a bigger house, for around the same price that you can purchase in Nob Hill, Northeast Heights is gonna be a better bang for your buck in that aspect. When it talks about access and being able to walk to Matucci's, being able to walk to the Chocolate Dude, being able to walk to Two Fools, Smoky Note, Little Bear, and things, Mascaras y Mas, the UNM campus, Chipotle, the laundromat, like being able to walk to all these different things or even ride your bike or a skateboard, and you save a ton of money because you're not spending a lot in gas. And with Whole Foods being like 5 minutes away from you, you are gonna see that you are gonna save in more ways than not. So again, lifestyle. And these two places are totally different contrasts, one from the other, right? One is totally urban and suburban. The other one is just gonna be suburban, New Mexico, quiet style of living, spread out, and you have to drive to everything. So just all depending on what your lifestyle calls for. You may find yourself spending more money because you're actually walking to Two Fools and Matucci's every night, or to the Chocolate Dude to get your chocolate fix every night. You may find yourself that you're spending a lot more in gas or a lot more in utilities because you bought a bigger house in the Northeast and you're having to do a lot more driving from one area to the other or to work. I don't know, right? It's all subjective. I can tell you this much, that in the hindsight of things, New Mexico tends to be anywhere from 10 to 20% less expensive in cost of living in general. And I've done a ton of videos on this, that even 2 years ago that I did that video of cost of living, it's still relevant to today's world. So if you want to learn more, go back into the channel and find that cost of living video. If you want me to send it to you, call or text me at any time. I know that some of you have kiddos. You may not, I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that I started diving deep into these videos and really thinking about people like me, right? People with kids and things that I would want to know or should know when it comes down to relocating to a new city. And of course, a lot of people ask me about crime. And all I can tell you is this, is that as a licensed broker, I can't talk about crime. There's plenty of great tools and resources that you can Google that will give you all the crime stats and you can do all the research on your own. But what I can tell you is that as a parent, there is gonna be some safety concerns that you should think about when you are choosing Nob Hill versus the Northeast. Now with the Northeast, there is that suburban style of living. So there isn't gonna be a whole ton of traffic throughout the neighborhoods unless it's, traffic hour and people are coming home from work or going to work. Those are the only real times that you really gotta be concerned about the roads being busy and kiddos riding their bikes and all that stuff in the neighborhood. Now, Nob Hill is the exact opposite. Just because there's always people traveling in and out of this neighborhood, you're gonna see that the street's a little bit busier. So it's just concerning when you have kiddos riding their bikes up and down the street or playing basketball in the driveway, like not even in the street, like some suburban areas. We used to play basketball in our cul-de-sac, in the street, not even in a driveway, and we never really had cars coming through unless somebody was coming home or leaving their house. And that was like maybe a few cars throughout the whole day. It wasn't like a continuous thing of traffic where it was super concerning. So I don't know if that's concerning to you. I don't even care if you have fur babies, if you got dogs and you're just worried about them getting out of the yard or potentially just walking them and just having to deal with traffic noise and all that stuff on your evening walks. These are things that I would be concerned about and things that I would want to know when it comes down to detail of living in one neighborhood versus the other. I'm gonna try to help you discover this without getting into the weeds of a tangent, right? And I'm sure you're looking to rent, and that's a great idea. I tell people all the time you should probably rent before you actually buy a house to try to figure out where you want to land. But when we are talking about Nob Hill and the Northeast, when we bring up these numbers, you're gonna have to see it for yourself, and it might click like a light bulb once I start talking about this topic here. Nob Hill, what you can expect when it comes down to renting a house or an apartment, studio apartment, can range anywhere from $1,100 to about $2,800, which is a big gap, I know, but it's just all depending on the size of the house. Now, when you are looking to purchase a house, you're looking at anywhere from $400,000 to about $500,000, and just depending on how much money you put down and all that stuff, that mortgage payment could be relatively pretty close or even less than some of these rents people are asking for in some of these houses in Nob Hill. Now, on the other side of the fence, in the Northeast, when you are talking about rents, you're looking at anywhere from 16 to 1800 bucks, which is totally doable, right? And that's gonna be for a single family house. They do have apartments on that side of town, and they do have some bougie ones like the brownstones and all that stuff off of Alameda and Paseo and all that, which the rents can go all the way past 3,500 bucks. And to me, that's crazy. I don't know. People just enjoy that apartment style of living, don't want all the headache and maintenance of owning a home. I get it. When you are looking at houses, this is where it gets kind of screwy. The gap for home prices in the Northeast just really depends on what neighborhood and how close you're, willing to live to the mountains, right? You have places like Tanawan, the foothills in Sandia Heights, which and the North ABQ Acres, which are within the vicinity of the Northeast and just kind of get looped into the Northeast because it's really just a hop, skip, and a jump away from this area. When you are talking about homes, you're talking about homes being priced at anywhere from $300,000 to about $500,000. Now that's a big gap. And I've seen houses go way over $500,000 just depending on how close you are to these things, or if you live in Tanawan, you understand that this gated community golf course neighborhood that we rarely talk about because who the heck wants to pay all these HOA fees? I don't. And maybe you do because you enjoy golf and you just want to ride your golf cart down to, the par 3 or whatever, whatever makes sense to you. We do help people find homes in these neighborhoods. We're just, giving you some flack just because why not, right? That's what we like to do, and we like to have fun in these videos. If either one of these areas is interesting to you, you're looking to rent or even purchase, I always recommend purchasing because of course of the appreciation thing, you're always gonna make money here on the majority when you do purchase a house here in Albuquerque, unless you make a bad move and a bad investment, right? And people have done that in the past, and we can help you deviate from all those things there. Not to get too infomercial, but I do highly recommend renting here just to figure out the thing, right? Do you wanna live in Nob Hill? Or do you want to live in the Northeast? Give each one a shot. Rent a place for 6 months in Nob Hill, and then rent a place in the Northeast for the next 6 months. And maybe that'll help you decide which place is really gonna make sense to you in terms of calling Albuquerque home. So you tell me, which neighborhood is really gonna be the best fit for you? Because personally, I don't know. I hope that this information really helps you with discovering which neighborhood is going to be the best fit for you and your family, or whoever you're bringing with you, right? So if you are ready and you want to talk about which neighborhood is really going to be a better fit for you, that number popping up in the screen is my direct line. Call or text me at any time. I have people calling me 7 days a week, texting me 7 days a week from all over the country and all over the world, believe it or not. And as much as I love helping them, I would love to help you. I'd love to help you discover which neighborhood is going to be a better fit. Is it going to be a Nob Hill, or is it going to be the Northeast Heights? Is it going to be Uptown? Is it going to be the Southwest? Like, there's so many different options that I can help you choose from. And with our Zoom call that we get on, I can help you discover that into great detail. There's also some more information for you to grab. Down in the description below is a free relocation guide. Hit the link, download it, share it with a friend, digest it, go through it. Just, some more food for thought, something to help you out with. And I want to know, are you potentially looking to relocate to Albuquerque? What are your concerns? What are you really concerned about, and how can I help you? Drop it in the comments down below. I'm getting hungry. I got a ton of emails to get back to. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.